Hello and welcome to the Midday Update. Here's the latest update from our newsroom. The Ministry of Health on Monday announced the registration of 174 new coronavirus cases in the country. 36 of the new cases are Omani nationals and 138 for non-Omanis, bringing the total number of registered cases in the Sultanate to 3,573. According to the Ministry of Health, this number also includes the recovery of 1,211 patients and 17 deaths. The ministry urged everyone to adhere to social distancing instructions issued by the Supreme Committee and the Ministry of Health and to stay at home and not go out unnecessarily. In terms of the breakdown, and starting from the north, Musandam Governorate records the lowest cases of infection with only 1 patient and 5 recovery cases. As of today, Al-Buraimi has a total of 19 cases, including 5 cases that has been recovered and registering no death. North Al-Batina has a total of 168 confirmed cases, including 1 death and 93 recoveries. Ad-Dahira Governorate has 53 confirmed cases while registering no deaths and 12 recoveries. South Al-Batina Governorate has a total of 315 confirmed cases of coronavirus, 209 recoveries, 1 death, and 105 active cases. Muscat Governorate stands at a total of 2,614 confirmed cases with 15 deaths, as well as including the recovery of 646. Ad-Dakhiliya Governorate has a total confirmed cases of 173, including 105 recoveries, 68 active cases, and no deaths. North Al-Sharqiya has a total of 17 confirmed cases, 28 recoveries, while registering no deaths and 9 active cases. South Al-Sharqiya has a total number of 170 confirmed cases with no deaths, 97 recoveries, and 73 active cases. Lastly, the Dhofar Governorate has a total of 18 confirmed cases with no deaths, 11 recoveries, and 7 active cases. Moving on, the Omanis who returned home on the repatriation flight from India on Saturday have thanked His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for helping them come back to the Sultanate. Talking to the Times of Oman, Ahmad Al Said, who was very happy to come back to the Sultanate after 2 months during which he stayed in India. He arrived in the Sultanate on Saturday afternoon as part of the group of 10 Omani citizens who were stuck in India. Al-Badi went to India on March 11, 2020 to take care for his father who was beset with many medical illness. It included brain cancer and kidney ailments. His father was undergoing the treatment at Kim's Hospital in India. His father had been admitted to hospital in the capital state of the India of Kerala. He unfortunately died of his ailments on April 4, 2020 while in India, and his body was repatriated from Kochi via Dubai, United Arab Emirates. The Ministry of Transport today declared the opening of a new part of the Barka Nakhal dual carriage project. A statement issued online by the Oman News Agency said, the Ministry of Transport today opened a new part of the dual Barka Nakhal dual carriageway project, which is a length of 13 kilometers. These were the latest updates for today. In addition to that, we have a guest joining us from the National University of Science and Technology who's going to be talking about the e-learning in the wake of the coronavirus. Let's welcome Mr. Jasim Al-Balushi. Thank you so much, Mr. Jasim, for joining us today.
Welcome, Ms. Madiha. Thank you very much. It's my privilege to be here in this show.
It is always an honor, sir, to have you here as a guest. We'll be talking about the e-learning in the wake of coronavirus, sir. So, could you please tell us briefly how you and people at the National University of Science and Technology are encountering and dealing with the situation in terms of education?
Well, actually, Ms. Madiha, the moment we received, let's say, the announcement of the lockdown or stopping the whole, let's say, educational institutes from presenting their educational services, we put down the university online teaching protocol for all the staff and the students to follow. And we started live sessions with students from almost the first week, actually, telling them about how the online teaching will be. We set up time tables for the students, so a timetable that will never contradict with, let's say, each module. So each module staff will know the timetable because it is a centralized timetabling system. So students will get one, let's say, lecture a day or maximum two lectures that will not contradict with each other in terms of timing. And we have put the learning materials for different modules available for the students on Blackboard. We got our students really study them, and then we give them questions on, let's say, Blackboard tasks. So they will be looking at the content, studying, and then answering all those questions. We also, what you call, told our students that the assessment will be now changed from exams to more courseworks to relieve them a little bit from stress. And because we know that exams cannot be or will be difficult to be done from home, let's say by distance, so we changed to like courseworks after discussing these alternate assessments with our affiliates. And the college, let's say, was always keeping, I mean, giving feedback to the students uh, to make their learning even better and better. So we listen to their, let's say, inquiries in terms of teaching, in terms of internet connection, whatever, and we try to help them be ready for the online teaching and learning. And we kept a record of the students who were there attending the online classes and those who were not. And we tried to call the students who were not to know why, if they have any reasons or difficulties in which we can give support, then we immediately give them support on that. We conducted different workshops for staff also to be able to use Zoom and to use Google Meet and other media that can be used for online teaching, because it's not all staff might be really let's say literate in using all these. So we call the IT department specialist really to conduct these workshops, and they did well really in this as a, let's say, a coordinator of staff professional development. I myself
Yeah.
went through this and I coordinated the workshops to staff, and we made sure that staff were really ready to give online teaching to our students. So, and you also did something good for the students who used to stay in hostel. We exempted them from paying the hostel fee as to give them another kind of relief as well from this. So the university, I can say, from the first day was really ready to meet this pandemic and to make the learning available for the students, because we believe in something that learning and teaching is never compromised.
Absolutely, sir. So, talking about e learning and how you have transformed in such a short period of time, what are the tools that you're basically using?
Well, actually, we used live class via Google Meet. Google Meet helped a lot really in this, because the university supports each staff with, let's say, his own password and username by using Gmail. And this facility of live class via Google Meet will be available also. So that helped a lot. Some staff used also Zoom for this and GoToMeet.
Yeah.
But we found at the end that Google Meet was the best, and we kept on using it even till today. We are using Google Meet.
Right. So, if I'm not wrong, sir, that this coronavirus breakdown happened right in the middle of the term. And I'm sure everything was designed and outlined according to the semester. And with all these crises happening in between, how did you revise the curriculum for the students?
In terms of content, Ms. Madiha, we tried to record the teaching and the learning materials. So each staff, maybe we have modules. So each module will be taught by different staff. So each staff will take one or more sessions and will record that. And then we upload this for the students. So instead of a lecture of 2 hours, a recording, let's say lecture of 1 hour was uploaded for the students. Students then will go through the materials, will study, and come back to the tasks on Blackboard to answer some questions, follow-up questions, to make sure that they have understood the content and the sessions being uploaded. That is in terms of the content. In terms of assessment, as I told after discussing the alternate assessment with our affiliates, we came with a different way of assessment, entirely depending on courseworks, which really helped really the students. So we prepared ourselves really for this.
I'm sure, sir, it wasn't an easy task to do.
It wasn't an easy task. We had to have so many meetings, I'd say, as a staff, to discuss what is there best for our students. That will make us really achieve the learning outcomes. So students will be able to learn, will be able to achieve the learning outcomes. Also, the assessment has been carried out. Teachers are not kept, let's say, sorry to say this word between bracket, jobless. They are on job, working from home. Some staff maybe will need to come to the workplace if urgent, let's say, requirement is there. So we did not stop. We really started from the first day. And because of the good planning we did under the content, under the assessment, under everything went fine.
That's amazing. So, Mr. Jasim, how are you making these sessions more interactive and interesting for students? Because the teachers are not physically there monitoring if the students is interacting or if it's taking interest in what is being taught. So, what are you exactly doing in those areas?
Well, Ms. Madiha, satisfying all the students will be a really difficult task. So for this reason, we did not really use one mean or one tool for teaching. We use so many. We use the, let's say, one-to-one meeting like Google Meet and Zoom and these platforms, and we use also the Blackboard where we post our teaching materials for the students who prefer to learn in this way. We have put some quizzes for the students. And during also the Google Meet, we were focusing on interactive tasks where we use a lot of asking and answering, techniques, so students will interact with us. We use the students also in this matter, students who are, let's say, advanced in terms of learning and acquisition. They were like teachers supporting, students who needed support, especially on their coursework. So we try to make it lively, enjoyable through the use of a lot of platforms that are available to us.
Right. So this, when you spoke about one meet, caught my attention right now. Are there any specific time for the students to actually have this one-on-one meeting with their teachers? Is there any timetable designed for it, or are they available round the clock for the students' assistance?
Well, the assistance is around the clock, as you said. But for the Google Meet, we have created timetabling for the students in order not to confuse them. So the timetabling will be issued to the students. They will know for each module the right time and like that. But even though I'm talking about myself, and I assume that most of my colleagues have done the same, we used to negotiate the time for the students, because sometimes even when we put the timetabling, students might have other, let's say, commitments or quizzes or whatever, or they were not really, what they call, having internet at that time. So we were negotiating the time with the students. During Ramadan timing, and again, I'm talking about myself, I negotiated with my students, and some of them recommended support, even, let's say, online teaching during evening time. So one of the meeting was at 8 p.m. Upon the request of the students, and I did it. Even at the weekend when they required, I did that also, and I assume that most of our staff did the same, because if students need, some kind of support, we were all the time ready for the students.
So you're basically saying that teachers at the NUST NUST is basically at their students' disposal. Wherever they need their assistance, they're always there.
Sure, because we believe that students have this challenge of the internet connectivity, and maybe they were busy with a lot of things, especially thinking about this pandemic. Maybe at home they have other people using the internet. Maybe at that time they are not having laptop or computer. So we have to put this and bear it in mind and be little bit flexible in this. So we were and we are still flexible with our students till they reach the learning required, the learning outcomes, till they do the assessment well, and they are satisfied with the service we provide to our learners.
Thank you, Mr. Jasim. Talking about e-learning, what are the challenges that are faced by the students and teachers as well?
For the challenges, most of these are like internet problem. The slow internet, I cannot assume that all people have got Wi-Fi at home because some of them might use their mobile for that. So sometimes this slow internet affects the Google Meet. You see the sound does not come clear, the picture does not clear, is not clear sometimes, especially when you display the content, you want students to see the content. So we know the internet problem, and I get this opportunity to encourage our, internet providers really to look at this issue where they really have to do something in this by providing high-speed internet, for to homes during this time, at least for 1 month or 2 months, because this is a service they can do to the community at this time. As well as to get students, used to the new way of online teaching. It's not an easy job, especially between brackets also, when it comes to shy students. When we were teaching them in class, we used to encourage them face to face and giving them suitable tasks that can get them really participate. But now for online teaching, we find them shy really to speak. And in order to encourage them and get them speak, what we do, we assign them different timing or different Google Meet, especially for them, designed for them. So in order to get them encouraged to talk, and that really helped.
Okay, so Mr. Jasim, as you know that we are on live right now and we have started getting some questions, and there's this question by Mr. Sadiq Ahmed Khan. He's asking if the university has given any fee discount to the parents in the wake of coronavirus.
Well, actually, I have no idea about the fee discount, but as I told you before, the hostels, most of the students, maybe 70%, maybe more than that, staying at hostels. And they were released from that. They don't have to pay this fee, about 375 riyals, something like that. They pay every semester. So they are now exempted from this. Regarding the academic fees, well, I have no really an idea about that. But they can post me an email and I will go back to the authorities and check.
Thank you so much, sir. So continuing with our discussion, if this situation prevails and it continues for another couple of months, how prepared are you to deal with the same situation in future?
Well, I can say, Ms. Madiha, that we are already prepared. This pandemic taught us a lot, really, and made us prepared well. The management of the university worked hard, really, to support the staff with all the requirements in terms of the softwares, licensing, in terms of the equipments needed, in terms of workshops that can help them use the tools. And the IT, support is available all the time to make staff ready. So now we got the experience, actually. And I think if this case, la samahallah, between brackets, continues, we are ready really to continue with the online teaching, with our strategies that currently applied. Of course, we will be listening to the students' feedback, what they say about our current online teaching and practices, and we will try to adapt to the level they require. They want us to be. But there is no doubt that we can continue, sure.
I'm sure things are going to get better very soon. Thank you so much, Mr. Jasim, once again for joining us for this extremely interactive session.
I thank you for this chance, really, and I thank all the people who listen to this, let's say, conversation, and to know that every educational institute in Oman is working hard now to get students who really study and learn. Among all these institutes, our National University of Science and Technology is never and will never compromise on our students' learning, and we will try our level best to give our students what they deserve, and to our community and to our nation.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jasim, for joining us once again. For all the viewers and listeners out there who have tuned in to Times TV right now, keep safe, stay home, and make sure you keep watching TTV.